Hey, what's up, guys? We're back again. It's been a couple months since we last recorded a video, but we're here with season 6 of WBSC, and this is our draft recap and analysis video, so we're really excited to dive into these teams. With me, I have Cam and Nick, two of the coaches this season, and I myself and Pock. I'm not coaching this season. I'm taking a break from playing, try and get my mind right so I can come back with a vengeance in next season. So
Of course.
Cool.
we'll get started.
Okay,
Cam,
Matrix.
Nick,
We're
first
talking about
ones.
Matrix.
Uh, Cam and
Okay.
we're talking about Matrix, I guess.
Yeah.
So
He,
Matrix is the coach of the Toronto Star Raptors. He's apparently coming back with a vengeance this season because he's super excited to start the season. It's way better than Galar, in case no one knew that. So
he lost his
yeah,
first game.
Yeah, he
well,
lost the first game.
well, we're not supposed to spoil that for our viewers, guys.
It
They
doesn't
don't know
matter.
that's happened yet.
Yeah, sure.
Um,
Matrix was the first pick. Took Melmetal, and this was an awful
it was
pick.
not the
Just a
first. He wasn't the first overall pick, but with his first
Yeah,
pick.
with his first pick, he took
Yeah.
Metal. I was devastated. It was an awful pick. What do you guys gotta say?
Is that your whole analysis? The small metal was a bad.
Keep going.
Yeah, so I helped Matrix with a little bit of his draft, and I think we talked about this offline a little bit, but it's a team that has a lot of individual threats, which makes the team scary. But when you really look at it from a synergy standpoint, there's not really much there. I think he's really gonna be relying on mons like Grimmsnarl, Liger, and Licky to really hold this team together and not fall apart at the seams.
Yeah, I don't really like this synergy with his team at all. I don't agree with him taking Dracovish right after Melmetal. Like it's good offensively with Melmetal, but I feel like a Wish Passer would have been much better to help build around Melmetal than Dracovish. Like Clefable was still up, and Vaporeon was even still up. So like I feel like
Warren's not up yet, but yeah.
yeah, Vape was up, wasn't it?
No,
Manu
Manu
took
took
it
I'd
it.
already
round two.
taken it.
Manu's gay.
Round 2.
Yeah, whatever. We'll get to him. But I still think Clef was definitely the best Pokemon he could have gotten instead of Dracovish.
Yeah,
But
I
you know,
kind of got to echo that sentiment when he picked Alakazam. The pick he was supposed to pick Umbreon, which would have made a lot more sense with this team. Um, Instead, he's now got double typings on Psychics and Steel and Water as well. Not Water. But he got redundant typing that I don't think he really needed. He should have been grabbing either Alamomola or Umbreon, which was still available at that point. So instead, he's got to rely on a somewhat unreliable Wish Passer and Licky.
yeah, and I don't like Licky Licky too much as a Wish passer for Melmetal because Melmetal needs a Wisher every single game, and I don't feel like you want Licky Licky every single game. You know, but
I
it's
dropped
just
that point.
what?
Anyways, yeah, I think that if he had something like Clefable instead of Melmetal, and Clefable can do so much more than just Wish Pass. You can bring like a Stealth Rock set, a Combine set, and I don't think Licky is going to be doing like anything else other than
And Heal
Wish.
Bell. It can Heal Bell. That's the only
Yeah,
other
but
thing.
that's like the whole thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not really going to be doing that much. I do like part of it. Like the offense on this team is insane, especially with Grimmsnarl. Like Melmetal, Dracovish, Terrakion, Alakazam with Grimmsnarl is crazy. Crazy.
Yeah, I agree. And Mega Venusaur is really good with Melmetal.
But I think Mega Venus was really good, yeah.
And Grim. Venusaur, Grim, Melmetal is a really solid
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
right there.
I think the biggest problem is definitely the hazards. Because, like, you have Shuckle, Gligar, and does Terrakis get rocks?
Yeah, and Bronzong. He doesn't really have problems with hazards.
Rocks. He has problems with getting rid of hazards.
That is true. His only removal is Gligar, right? Yeah.
I think so. I don't think anything. I don't think Shuckle can get rid of anything.
No, it's just Gligar's only removal.
Yeah, so that's not going to be good for him. You can set up spikes on him and he can't really do much about it. Because I think spikes is the way you want to go with him instead of rocks. Because he has a lot of Pokemon that resist rocks.
Especially with a team like his that doesn't have many setup sweepers, so it's going to have to be switching around a lot to bring in things like Dracovish and Melmetal. So I feel like having more removal would have been better, but it's whatever.
Okay. Do you guys feel good with Matrix?
Yeah, we can move on.
We can
You
move
got-
on to Nick. Nick literally got the team he wanted. Like, I don't think he got sniped
literally.
once.
I got like a little snipe.
A little snipe, yeah, okay. Okay, buddy.
Well,
But Nick kind of had a draft plan like weeks before. Well, not weeks, but about a week. And he got
Yeah.
exactly everything, especially his top 4 he really wanted, and he got them all.
I wanted Mega Aggron really bad, and I wanted Mew and Tapu Bulu really bad, and I got both of them, or I got all 3 of them. So.
And Rotom Heat you really wanted to.
And Rotom Heat, yeah.
And then you were talking about Alamomola, and you got Alamomola.
I got yep.
I'm glad.
Everything went my way.
Yep. This is definitely this isn't quite a typical Nick team. I think it's
I disagree.
almost there. I think it's almost there. I think he's got a little more offense than normal. But it's definitely still reminiscent of like his Mega Garrett team and his season 1 team. So I think it's definitely a team that's going to be comfortable for him. I'm a little surprised not to see multiple ground types. He made up for it with multiple water and grass types, so give and you take. Otherwise, it's fat. There's a lot of fat here. King could be used in a fat role. Levani offers webs to really make it easy for stuff like Rotom Heat and Sneasel and Bulu to just clean up games at the end. And Sock, as we learned today in his first match. Granted, I don't think webs were up, but still, Sock very nicely. I think it's going to be a really fun mod with this team because it's not really forced to run like rocks every week or defog or something like that. It has so much ability to run whatever set it wants and not be shoehorned into something, which is kind of scary to let Nick be able to do and have that type of freedom. Usually one of the easy things that makes Nick somewhat beatable is like a lot of his mods tend to sometimes design to specific roles, and with Mew, that's not a possibility. And even today, we learned he has a lot of flexibility with Mega Aggron with the addition of Body Press, so he just can run Curse or Iron Defense a lot easier now and still have the offensive presence to just estimate and break holes in teams. So I think it's really going to be a fun season for him. I already know he started off on a good note with a 3-0 win today, so could we be seeing a repeat or not repeat his second championship this season?
No,
possibly.
I mean, maybe. The only problem that I have with this team is that I don't know. There's not like I have offense, but I feel like there's not like a bunch of wall breakers on this team. Which is why I picked Salamence, Nidoking, and then Sock as my other 3 free picks because I just wanted things that I could use to hit really hard. Because I kind of lack that. But other than that, I love it. I love it.
Last teams.
Yes, but
yeah. Like pretty much nothing is wrong with this team. If I really, really have to nitpick, but this isn't really a problem. Like, you can't really bring rocks all the time. Because, like, you have Mew as a rocker, and you have, like, Nidoking as a rocker, but I don't think you're going to want to run
Miltank.
rocks on them. Miltank gets
Miltank too.
rocks.
Miltank gets rocks, yeah.
Yeah, but I don't think you're going to really want any of them to run rocks, you know?
No, you're right.
I think there's better sets that they can use than rocks. You can still get them, but you don't have, like, a designated, like, rocker, you know?
Yeah, just this week I had to run rocks on Nidoking, and I didn't even get to, like, put him up. Because Mew had to be a specific set, and Aggron was like partially my win con. So
yeah, I don't think you're ever running rocks on Mega Aggron, to be honest.
I don't because it's like it's so good offensively now. It's so good offensively.
Yeah, you just don't have enough moves.
Yeah, I don't have enough move slots.
Yeah, that's the only problem I have with this team. I think everything
Right.
else is good.
I can see it though. We can move on to Will now.
Okay, Will is Cancer.
Yep.
His team
We
is
can move on
pure
to
Cancer.
Infinite.
If you look at a team, it is Will. Like the Deoxys with Corviknight was bad enough, but then you have Milotic and Florigus, and you're like, oh, come on, guys, what's happening here? Come on.
Yeah. One really issue I really see with this team is speed, but he's clearly going for a strat with the webs and Galvantula to make things easier for Kiram. And I'm assuming I could see a lot of offensive floor just coming. I think that's the type of mon that would really benefit because it's more powerful than people think. Um, and it makes it really easy for Absol to not be like revenge killed by the faster threats. So feels weird. It does look like a Will team, but at the same time, it doesn't. It's got the fat. I think it doesn't. It lacks a little bit of that immediate offensive pressure that some of the more classic Will teams have had. I think he's got a lot of fun pieces to work with, and I think we could see a nice breakout from stuff like Corviknight and Florges.
I would have really loved his team if he had just a little more offense. Like I know he has Mega Absol and Kiram, but like that's it. He has Galvantula too, but
Yeah.
Doug Tree is not strong enough to be considered an offensive wall breaking mon. You know what I mean? His team's I don't know. I just feel like relying on Kiram, Mega Absol, and a possible Galvantula almost every week to be offensive
Is
can
a
be a
little
bit of a hit.
much. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dougie can be offensive too, but
Yeah.
I think
but also like
I
on,
think
like, on the side of it, Cam,
yeah.
I'm gonna kill you.
Okay, I'll go. I think this team
Okay.
for it to be like offensive, I think he's forced to set up layers of spikes with Deoxys every game to start gaining like offensive momentum. Because without the spikes, I feel like his team just can't do enough damage. But it's Deoxys defend, so I think it's gonna have no problem getting up rocks. And if
Yeah.
it just forces teams to run taunt.
I feel like if Kiram and Absol have a bad week, then it's gonna be so hard for him to overcome it. Like if they have a bad matchup, it's
Yeah.
gonna be so hard for him to overcome that. Anything else?
Dusknoir is cool,
That's not. Yeah, yeah, it's cool.
and Hitmontop is cool.
Hitmontop's good. Hitmontop's good.
Hitmontop is good.
And shout out to him for finally getting Colossal.
Yeah, sure. I don't think it's ever gonna show up, but it's cool.
He has like.
He'll show up. He loves that mon. He'll show
He
up.
has a like weirdly large amount of hazard removal for a team with.
Yeah,
Soul.
and magic bounce too.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So like, I don't know. Obviously, it's not a bad thing, but
Yeah, just kind of, just Cancer. I feel
He
like
just
this
took
team.
it all.
he just took everything.
I don't think anyone's gonna have fun prepping for Will. Like not a single person.
I face Will week 2,
So have fun. Have fun. Have fun.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna have fun.
Yeah. Next up, we go to the
Infinite.
Yeah, who went to the finals but ended up losing. But that's okay.
We still love him.
We still love him.
We
I feel like his team, I think is kind of weird, but not bad weird. You know,
Yeah.
like I don't know. I just weird seeing Serp and then Darm and then Mega Pidgeot. That's all really good. I feel like for offense. And then you have like the good walls and like Toad, and then you have Goodra. That's really bulky. And then you got your T Spikes with Garbodor. I feel like it's a solid team, but nothing like amazing.
He's got like a lot of momentum building with Darm, Silvally, Fernet, Mega Pidgeot, Jolteon.
Yeah.
He's got so much. All those most of the mons also have like Teleporter, Baton Pass. Like I think that really plays into Infinite's hands to be able to still get damage and freedom to get a good switch in. He really likes Infernape, and apparently he's really high on Pidgeot, and he's finally getting to use it. So see how he does. I think Darmanitan was due for a bounce back season. I don't think he's afraid of running just U-turn Icicle Crash every week, either Bandit or Scarf, and get 12 kills with it. Then there's just a lot to like. He's got Trick Room capability with Hatterene. He claims it's a T2 mon. I don't, but we'll see if he proves me wrong. I think there's a lot to like here with between hazard, speed tiers, momentum.
I think the speed tiers are actually one of my issues with it. He doesn't have a lot in like the 200 range. He has Gudra, I think. That's it.
Gudra, Golurk,
But like,
Seismitoad.
Golurk isn't really going to be running that much speed. Neither is Seismitoad.
Yeah.
This like one of my only issues.
Still there.
I like the cores though. I like the cores. Like Seismitoad, Superior, and Fernape is really good. Gudra, Caparaja, Hatterene is a little weaker, but it's still decent. And make a big
Caparaja, I think, is a really. Was Caparaja a T4 or 5? I don't remember. Either way, I think
5.
Tier 5. I think that's a steal. I think Caparaja hits like a truck, and it's got rocks. So
it's tier 4. It's tier 4. It's tier 4.
But either way, I think it's still a good pick. I think it's a underrated mon in tier 4. So I think he'll find some good uses for it. And I mean, he's got power up Heat Crash. It's normal stuff like Earthquake, Edge, or Rock Slide, and Iron Head, and
Plan.
yeah, so I think it's going to go pretty well for him this season. I think this is a team that Infinite's going to like.
Yeah, I think so too. Are we all good with Infinite and his beautiful team?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll move on to the Goat Brown. So he's really high on his team. He really likes his team. I mean, I don't think it's the best team, but I don't think it's the worst team either. You know, I think it's a pretty like solid team. I feel like.
And one of the things I think I kind of see with this team is again offensive, just the immediate wall breaking capabilities he has in Darm, Mammo, Glade, Torn.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Gren can even be a bit of a problem.
Specs Gren is a beast, and then he's got really solid walls behind him in Umbreon, Dusclops, Slowbro, Wheezing.
Tangela
can just really do and Tangela can really check certain mons. I think only his biggest issue is going to be deciding which wall. It's going to be really tempting to sometimes go too defensive or too offensive in a given week. So I think that's going to be like biggest struggle for him is figuring out how to balance that and mix and match the right way.
I was gonna say the same thing. I think it's a little too. I think his teams are gonna be like too offensive or too defensive each week. So you stole my line. Thanks, Puck.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm just smarter and faster than you.
Smarter and faster.
I think and honestly, even the Rotom fan pick, I know it gets a lot of hate just as a Pokemon, but like,
not bad.
It's still a Rotom. Electric Flying solid. It gets big Volt Switch, Defog. It gets all the same moves as most Rotoms. So like, it's a solid pick, I think, for a tier. I don't know if it's tier 4. I think it's what 4. We moved it up to, but still a solid pick, I think, regardless. And I think even that's gonna be able to put in some work. Might only come once or twice, but I think it's gonna do some decent work in those couple matchups. So he's got a nice balanced team, but yes, he's got to be smart about how he preps each week.
He also kind of has to work. I know he's gonna hate this, but I still think he's a little electric weak. I know he has Mamoswine and Tangela, but like
Steelix.
Yeah, but you know, Steelix is not gonna really show up with if
it's
Mammo's
immune
there.
to electric.
I know, but is he really gonna bring Mammo and Steelix together?
No, he had to choose which weeks to bring it.
Yeah, but you're gonna choose Steelix over Mammo? I don't really. Maybe, but
and it's got D-Dance now. Remember?
Oh yeah.
Right,
Can't forget about D-Dance Steelix.
Get up to +6 so you can outspeed Thera.
Yeah, but I feel like if you get rid of his ground type during a match, I think you can just click Thunderbolt. It just a problem that I have. I mean, but he has answers to that, but I feel like I
Vex
don't know.
Jolteon and Galvantula and Heliolisk could all do some real damage to this
Yeah.
team.
They all can really do damage. Like especially if like they have dual stab with like let's say like Heliolisk kind of just like surfs and then clicks Thunderbolt. It's kind of hard for him to stop. I feel like
Team is good.
it's good.
It's still a good team though.
Let's say it's
See
good.
if let's see if he is really the GOAT.
The go burn.
I don't think there are any teams that are like completely horrible just
Eh.
because now there's so many. Okay, we'll get to Kai. We'll get to Kai.
No, don't be
Wow.
mean.
Wow. Oh, shots fired. Wow.
Meanie pants, Nick. Okay, let's move on to Zod.
Yeesh.
I feel like Zod had a really good start in the draft, and then I think he started to slip in the later
Yeah.
tiers. I feel like with certain mons, but just having
It's like-
Coco and Hydreigon together is pretty nasty. Like especially nasty having those two.
Skarm and Skarmory as a nice just wall.
Yeah, there's this. I think he probably has one of the best Steel Fairy Dragon Core out of any team here.
He's
Like,
got a really good fire, water, grass too.
yeah. I just don't
Um,
like his like support mons. With
Yeah,
his
there
team.
are like Regirock, Glaceon, and like Stoutland. I don't really.
Yeah,
I
I
just
don't.
think
I don't like him that much.
like
He's the I
Stoutland. I
get the
can.
Stoutland pick. He's going
Yeah,
for
because I
Japan.
hit Powdon. I know, but like, to you're gonna bring Stoutland like one game just with Sand once. I just feel like you could have gotten something a little better that you could
Yeah.
bring more times.
And I don't like Miss Maggie's either. I'm gonna say it. I'm not a fan of Miss Maggie's, even though ghost types
It's
are
not the
good.
best.
Yeah.
So it's got some decent utility though, which is going to be useful, I think, for him with like Keel Bell and some other and Taunt and T Wave. I think it's more what we're going to see it used as.
Mhm.
But yes, I would agree. There's a big issue with his team is he's got his speed's rough.
His speeds are. I was just about to say his speed
There's
tiers are
nothing
bad.
between Miss Magius and Coco, and then he's just bunched up in the 200s. So that can be really exploited, and I think it would be very easy to do some in prep to maybe make some mistakes that allows other mons on teams that you might not expect to sweep to end up sweeping this team.
Mhm.
So I think he's going to be forced to run a lot of scarf sets, or he's going to do a lot of speed creeping, which against a lot of these teams, it's not going to work well.
Also, having both of your ice resists be weak to fighting is kind of an oopsie too, but it's not
Yeah,
the biggest
especially
deal.
with Hydreigon there, and instead of
Well,
Roar.
Blastoise is a nice resist.
What'd you say?
Blastoise is also nice resist, and it's not weak to fighting.
Yeah, but when I was looking over his team, I forgot about Blastoise.
I didn't
That's on
realize
you.
he was there. I
Yeah,
really
that's
like
on
Mega
me.
Blastoise.
I take my comment back.
That'll be a fun wall breaker for him. I think it's no Mega Diancie, but like I think he'll enjoy it still.
He also doesn't get Shell Smash, which is important.
Well, that's if he got
Yeah.
Shell Smash, it'd be
Yeah,
banned,
it would be banned. But I think
It's
Mega
still-
Blastoise can do really well without Shell Smash. It did in the past. I don't see
Oh,
why
yeah,
it wouldn't anymore.
Usually
Mega
just
Blastoise
comes
is
in.
really-
It's usually almost guaranteed to kill every time it comes because it just breaks things.
Yeah, and
It's
its
got
move pool is
I am-
wild.
decent coverage.
I am worried about him having to run Defog on Skarmory every single week because he only has Blastoise, Hydreigon, Coco as other hazard removal, and Coco and Hydreigon are supposed to be so offensive.
Yeah, they're not
that
gonna. They're not even gonna see Defog.
Yeah, you don't want to use Defog on those guys.
I don't know. We could end up seeing a lot of screens Coco. This,
If he
turn
brings
screen
Freeze
sweep
Coco
on.
when he has Wild Charge and Play Rough, it will be very sad.
And it's just I don't see why you would on this team.
Might. Who you never know.
You
You
could.
never know. You never know. You could.
Okay, next up we got the actual GOAT, Rabo. Rabo.
Yeah, I think
Rabo.
this is probably the best team.
Rabo is arguably probably the at least top 2. Like I don't think you can argue anything below 2 for having the best team. Like it's really good. It's really good.
Yeah,
I feel like if he had a little bit of a stronger Mega, then it'd be a bit better.
But like, think about it, though. Think about he got that Mega because of his look at the core, the FDS core he got.
Yeah, that's crazy. Celesteela,
He
Komodo.
got the Tell and Cinderace.
Also,
top, like
Mega
that's
Obama Snow hits really hard
crazy.
too. It's just slow. That's its only
Does.
problem.
and I really like it though because like it gave him an opportunity to use a fun mon. Like just it gave him cheap slush ale weather
Yep.
stuff with Arctivation to bomb the snow. Um,
Yeah.
that's
Obama-
that will come in handy in one of his matches. Like there's gonna be a match where Arctivation just slays a team.
Mm-hmm.
And if Mega Obama Snow gets Aurora Veil, he can do Aurora Veil and then go into Kamo and start Dragon Dancing, or go into Celesteela and click a Totema.
Clinger Soul. Didn't we allowed Clinger Soul, didn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it takes
Like do
it's a
that.
lot. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
With
And
Aurora
he's
Veil.
got some nice utility mons.
Like Celesteal.
Yeah, nice utility mon right there.
Celesteal could be whatever he wants.
Yeah.
Celesteal is the new Mew.
Yeah, it could do
But-
whatever it wants. It could be like offensive. It could be defensive. It could be support. It's just crazy. It's really good. I feel like, especially now.
The only problem I have with this team is there is a little bit of a lack of immediate power. That's the only problem I have. Just a little bit.
Hey, choice band Cinderace is kind of wild. With
It's true,
Pyro.
but I mean,
But-
Cinderace doesn't have a super high attack stat though. I think it's like 119 or something.
It's not like a Darm, you know what I mean?
But it
Or a
can hit.
hack. It's definitely not a Haxorus because I mean it's stronger. So
I just don't like Marowak on his team. That's the only Pokemon I don't like on his team.
I kind of get it. I think
there.
he's trying to get. He needed Rock Slate, and Mario wanted the Ghost type.
Yeah, I forgot.
It's fun. It'll be some fun, and plus I think he's got Trick Room capabilities. So like Marowak, little Marowak will hit hard in those circumstances.
Oh yeah, Thick Club Marowak is a beast, but it's just a little slow.
So slow. It's so slow.
Flame
My
charge it
question
up.
was like when he picked up Flygon, I was a little surprised by that. Him already having Kamo, like I haven't seen it's not often you see a double dragon team.
Yeah.
In the last 2 gens, so
He just didn't have a
a
ground
little
type.
I get why he did it. It was just more like I think it really makes his team somewhat weak to ice. Got a decent amount of resist, but like it's just one of those mons that I don't think he necessarily needed it. I think I would have preferred to see something else there. Be a Dawn fan even. Is a better one. Other than that quad weak to ice, but I also probably shouldn't doubt Rabo. Probably be in the finals this season and get his second championship. So
I think he took Flygon because it gets defog, and he only had Cinderace and Blastoise, and Cinderace with court change isn't like
Yeah, it isn't a remover.
it isn't great. So I think he just wanted some more hazard control because he doesn't really have that great of hazard control on this team.
yeah. Thankfully, he's not super weak to rocks, but
And if he's running like Aurora Veil, he doesn't want to run court change Cinderace because then Aurora Veil will go on their side. So
Mhm. And
no,
Clef is
effective
always
hazards.
good.
I didn't know expected screens too.
yeah, it does screens too. It's busted.
I think the scariest though of his team is definitely Clefable with Celesteela. I think that's
Yeah,
that's pretty gross. Not gonna
I
lie.
think that's coming I think that's just gonna come every week.
Yeah.
It's one of those things that it's gonna come.
And even the, like it's gonna come every week, it's still gonna be hard to prep for it.
Yeah.
You could probably know his
You
exact
have
set.
no idea what sets it's gonna run. So
You know Clefs. You know exactly what Clef is gonna run. With
Because Clef does
Celesteela.
not have to be. It doesn't have to be Wish.
Yeah, I
it doesn't
know,
have to be
but-
max. It doesn't have to be max HP, max defense, wish every week, Cam.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
just
I
because-
kind of
just
don't
because
see
you
a
ran it
reason.
like that every week.
I mean, I beat the Goat Brown with an offensive Clef, so I know.
You know what? You did beat the Goat Brown.
Yeah, I did beat the Goat Brown.
All right, now that you made that little plug, let's move on.
Okay, Yad's team, I'm not a huge fan
Is
of.
good.
I'm just gonna say
Okay.
it. I'm not a huge fan
I
of Yad's
love-
team.
I really like Yossi. Again, I
Yeah.
realize I'm biased. I helped make like the first 6 picks of this team. I actually really like it. I think it's going to work really well for his style. He really likes offensive mons, and he's got just enough bulk to be able to freely switch well enough with stuff like Klefki and Slowking and Arcanine and Gliscor all there. That his speed tiers are probably the most close to the most balanced, I think. He could have done a little better in the 200s, but I think there might be the most balanced in the league. I think
Mhm.
it's going to be really hard to run a lot of Adamant or Modest against him.
I think
don't-
it's a really
It's gonna be
fat.
perfect.
I think it's gonna be a very bulky offensive team every single week. Like with Slowbro, Arcanine, Gliscor. They're all bulky offensive mons, I feel like. But then you got Mega
Keep in mind,
Lopunny.
he's got Lopunny, Weavile, and Thundy T
Yeah.
just chilling
I
out
was looking
there.
at that. That's crazy. That is
Yeah.
crazy.
I think that's pretty good. Mega Lopunny in general is kind of crazy.
It's crazy, yeah.
And paired with Sunday, I don't think they have something that both of them can't hit.
I mean, I don't think there's a way to
think so.
wall that
Yeah,
threesome right
I don't
there.
think there's a way to make them both like have stab resist.
I think just Weavile and Thundy T, since Hidden Power got removed, Thundy T can't use Hidden Power Ice. So Weavile and Thundy T are so good offensively together, and then you just put Megalopunny in there. It's like okay, okay, sure.
You got stuff like got a really solid special attacker in Dragalge. You got screens in Klefki. And this team looks bulkier like after you add those screens in. Like not much is gonna be able to just one-shot this team.
And if like he can find a way to use Dragalge, it hits really hard. If he
And
can
it gets
find a way.
toxic spike. It gets toxic spikes.
It's 12 stabs. It's very solid.
Does he have a rapid spinner though?
No, it's just
Yeah.
defog. That's my problem.
Yeah.
So
That was
things
his biggest
like,
problem. So we had, and he recognizes that too.
yeah, like I don't really understand why you draft all these defoggers, but then also get toxic spikes with Dragalge and then spikes with Klefki. If you're just gonna like defog them away, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's not super rocks weak though, so I don't think.
No,
He'll
yeah,
be,
he's
like,
not.
But it's just
Like, I
hard
don't
for
think
him
he'll
to
be
get up
defogging
hazards.
too much.
It's just
You,
gonna
you
annoy
don't
him.
want to rely on you don't want to like rely on boots on like Thundy. You know what I mean?
Boots on Thundy.
Boots on Thundy.
Yankee with
I
no
think we'll see.
brim.
I think a lot of this strategy is going to end up being like try and hit hard first to break an immediate hole, where to the point where rocks maybe isn't as important for the opponent to be able to use. Kind of
Yeah, that
I
can make
guess
sense.
it.
Yeah. I think you have to
See-
be good to use Yad's team, but Yad is good, so I don't think that's gonna be a problem for him.
You have to be good
Yeah.
to use Yacht's team.
I'm excited to see how he does.
It's a
Mainly,
tough part.
I also have a stake in this just because with helping him, but I'm actually really excited to see because I think he's got a lot of potential.
The fact that Cam just called Yad good is so bad. 'Cause, you know,
I'm telling you, dude, these two
yeah,
care for each other.
That's
they're
not true at all. That's not true at all.
Yad is gonna come to this part in the video, hear that, and then like go in the chat and say like, "Oh my God, Cam just called me good" or something.
Yeah,
it's
but
gonna be
he's good, but he's not great. Sucks.
Let's just move on. Let's move on to 88.
Cam
88,
recognizing the goat.
88 the GOAT. I love 88.
He has a Komala.
The man, no, he has a Komala and a Litwick, and he's still gonna
That
make
is true.
playoffs.
Yeah, dude, his team's like really stacked outside of those two. Honestly, I'm not gonna sleep on Kamala. I love Kamala because just for last resort and sleep talk set choice.
Yeah.
Thing is,
Only
if
reason
we are
to-
if we're talking about bad speed tiers, these speed tiers are so bad.
But 88 just doesn't care. I feel like
Victini and Shaman have the same speed at 328, and then the next highest is 394 with Crobat.
But then you got zero
And
aura
zero.
for it. You got the speed
Keep in
tier
mind,
for
he's
zero.
got webs. He's got webs in there, so like he'll have some fun.
It's
I feel
Don't
like
get me wrong, they're not balanced. They're not balanced by any means. They
Yeah.
are not. But I think he did his best to support that, especially with Orbital in there with webs to help like stuff like Mega Lataria and Aegislash and Hitmonchan have an easier time and an opportunity to break something. Garf Crocodile is going to be a real threat with this team, or
totally.
even Bandit now too. It's going to be like such a huge threat.
Crocodile is such a good mon. It's slept on so much. It's so good.
I agree.
I don't
entirely.
think I think we should have let that slip to tier 3.
That's what I was saying. I didn't think it should have gone to tier 3, but you can let it.
I mean, I had Crocodile before. I don't think I ran Pursuit on it once, and I had
It
plenty
didn't
of
need Pursuit.
stuff.
It didn't need Pursue. Also, Toxapex, Shaman, and Victini is a pretty good Firewater Grass core.
Yeah.
This is a team that's got some immediate wall breaking power, I think.
And Aegislash this man got Aegislash for zero aura. What the fuck?
You got Aegislash and Altaria.
Like what is going on? This man.
His team, like when you look at it, it doesn't look like.
It doesn't
that.
look great.
When you start diving into it, it starts to look a little better.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good. It isn't the best, but I think it's good.
Like
He's gonna
he can
mob
bring
somebody
Litwick.
with Kamala. He's just gonna mob somebody.
If he gets a kill with Litwick, we might as well call him the champion. I'm just gonna say it right now. If he gets a kill with Litwick,
If he
I mean,
brings Litwick, we have to call him the champion.
which would be more impressive, him getting 3 kills with Litwick or Tom getting 3 kills with Dupiter?
I don't
Tom
know. That's,
getting 3 kills with Dupiter was crazy. That was insane.
yeah.
Which would you say is more impressive?
I think the Litwick thing, because at least Dupiter can like
Eat.
hard, kind of.
Dupiter can run a violate, but Litwick can't.
Litwick.
Litwick can't run a violate at all.
Well, it can run it. It's just gonna
What? It's gonna die.
die.
Yeah. I don't know. I really think 88 drafts weird. I feel like that's his style, though. Drafting weird is his style.
He's gonna draft what
Mm.
Monty wants. He's not gonna.
Yeah.
He doesn't really play by draft by the norms like Yacht did. Yacht is like by the book. Getting the speed tiers right, getting those cores.
88 just he just throws Pokemon that he likes to use, and that's how he drafts. And you gotta respect it. You gotta respect it.
The only problem I have this team is the lack of ground resist. So I think Shaman is gonna have to be defensive like every week.
Yeah.
He's pretty weak to ground.
You can also drop Litwick.
He could drop Litwick.
Drop Kamala too.
Nah, come on, could say it's a nice low tier spinner. I like it.
I don't think he's gonna use this for spinning once.
He could.
Gosh.
Next
Should
time.
we-
Stop clicking on my name,
go ahead.
buddy.
I don't want
wait.
to. I don't want to talk about this team.
What are you talking about? What are you talking about? You
Nick,
silly.
this is basically like this is like your team right here. So like I think you should be the only one to talk about it.
How is this my team?
There's so many of your favorite mons.
There are a lot of this. If you go to like season 2 or season 3, it's like an exact replica of my team.
But
Like a
I didn't even
combination
know.
of
I
those
didn't
two
even know.
teams, I think.
Yeah, he just threw a bunch of my teams together and said, "Okay, here we go."
And then threw in a what was it, Mesprit and an Ambipom.
Mesprit, I got
I
inspired.
drafted Mesprit.
Mesprit, I got inspired by Yuxi. Not gonna lie. I was starting
Well,
to get a
Yuxi's good
psychic
too.
type.
I like Yuxi a bit more.
Yeah, but Mesprit is just a
but-
cheaper Yuxi.
So talk about camps.
I really like my team. I think it's better than last season.
It's good.
Uh,
It's a good team.
I mean, just the first thing I noticed was like top end speed is not
Great.
quite as good as some of the other ones. It's solid. I mean, you still got Raikou up there, but that's your highest, I think, isn't it? Unless Ambipump's faster.
No, they're the same speed.
Yeah.
All right, so that's your top end speed right there, which could leave you vulnerable to a lot of Scarfers. It's not like Ambipom and Raikou can take hits easily. But you've got a really solid Glumons in Gyarados and Lando to like really keep other teams on their toes.
I
You've
can also
got-
intimidate spam too with them if
Hmm.
I don't want to evolve Mega Gyara, which I like.
You've got a very good FDS core. E-Tran and Sylveon is like GOAT tier, I would say. Like this is for like 2 gens, it was like GOAT tier. I don't know what it's like in Gen 8, but
hmm
that's really solid.
But I wanna
Exodus will be
butt
a
in right here. I know like everyone was like Lando T was out HP Ice is amazing. I feel like people are also forgetting that a lot of like older teams back in the Yield days had to run HP Ground for Heatran, and HP Ground is gone too. And I feel like people are forgetting about that. So I feel like Heatran can like, do a lot better. Like Lando.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think your cores are pretty good.
I
It
like
reminds me of your team reminds me of Infinite's team, and like you guys just kind of went down and checked things off. With like you have the Firewater Grass core, you have the Fairy Dragon Steel core, you have a good amount of rockers, a good amount of spinners. You know, there's nothing crazy about this
Yeah.
team. It's just really solid.
There's no and like all my speed tiers are checked except like the higher speed tiers. So I feel like I'm a little too close around the base 80s for speed
I
tier.
think you have 2 Mons that are 339 and 2 Mons that are 361. So it's kind of you could have like diversified them a little bit more. But it's not that big of an issue.
I think you're gonna. Speaking of a 339 mon, I think you're really gonna like Mienshao. It's
really good.
it's incredibly underrated. It's a mon I usually always look at. I'm not always able to fit it on my team, but it's a mon I'm almost consider every draft I'm in. What gets Reckless and Regenerator.
Yep.
Mhm.
and high jump kick U-turn combo is just
It's all
so
it
hard to
needs.
deal with.
Yeah, it's all
So
it
hard to
needs.
deal with.
Reckless high jump kick. Does that work with high jump kick? I think so.
Yeah,
you can
because you can
It's crash
miss.
damage.
Yeah. Reckless high jump kick is so strong. It's
Yeah,
insane.
it's stupid. Like the amount of times it just breaks me every time, no matter how hard I try to prep for it, because it's not your main focus of prep. It's never your main focus, especially on team with Lando, Gara, and Heatran. But you're gonna have a lot of opportunities to do some wall breaking with that.
Yeah,
It
especially
just
with
has to-
Haxorus too. Haxorus is a really good wall breaker. I feel like. I think people sleep
I mean,
on
it doesn't kill Musharna, so
Oh
like.
Jesus Christ!
I mean, was Calc? What does it get? Does it get assureds? What does it get?
First impression.
Breaking swipe. Oh, it does get first impression. Yeah.
Breaking swipe.
Yeah, dark move.
It's a
Breaking
dragon move.
It's a dragon move.
No, too bad. But I feel like
Okay.
You
people.
can't just change Pokemon.
No, too bad. But I want to talk about Skunk Tank too. I feel like Skunk Tank can do good too.
You were
Why?
the
Why do
draft
you think
Skuntank.
Why do you think Skuntank could do well? Does that have something to do with one of your matchups?
No,
I told you.
Nick
I
did
told
tell
you
me
to
about
draft
Skunk Tank. Yeah.
Skuntank always gets drafted. Like I don't even think of it as underrated anymore. It always gets drafted. Like
Just the fact that it's in tier 5, it's like a top tier 5, in my opinion.
I feel like
defog and then just nice utility, like coverage of moves.
like
dude,
flamethrower for some reason. Yeah,
it's just solid.
flamethrower.
It works somehow.
I think what was I gonna say? I think you're gonna like Cryogonal too. I feel like it's pretty underrated, and it gets a roar.
I really like Cryogonal.
You have to manually set up the rain or the hail, yeah, but it still gets a roar veil. Like it's rapid spin and defog, and it's fast. It's base 339, so
It takes hits like a champ on
it's
Spadef
On
wise.
special,
its
yeah.
Spadef is like 130.
Yeah, it's 130.
Like I think I had a matchup with recently where like I had it and it took on Lati. It like switched in on a +1 Draco or something or Psychic from a Latios. It's just like just ate it.
Yeah, and then it
It's
just recovers it up. Just recovers. Doesn't care. I also feel like I feel comfortable like bringing every mon on my team. I don't feel like I'm gonna have a Pokemon like
Like a Litwick.
yeah, like I didn't want to be
Hey,
mean.
don't talk bad about Litwick.
Didn't want to be
That
mean.
Okay.
But I
It's
feel
come
like
3 times.
every single mon can have like a game where it can do really well. I feel like maybe not Ambipom.
Oh,
What?
Ambipom will have its moment.
It's not bad. It's not.
It's
bad.
not bad,
Skill
but
Link. I'll have a moment.
yeah, I think
Technician, I mean.
yeah, just
Both.
slap Fake Out. Fake Out is a monster on this thing.
The
yeah.
only problem I see with your team is that it's like, while you have bulky mons, I feel like they're just not like designed to be crazy bulky. But besides Sylveon and maybe Heatran, but the other things aren't like bulky mons, quote unquote.
Yeah, it's a
Just-
Oh
very
no, you made Gyarados a fucking Stallmon, so.
yeah.
I did do that. I didn't do that.
And Lando can be bulky too with Intimidate.
That's what I mean. You might have to run Lando bulky more often than you would like.
Yeah, I think I'll be fine with it. It's got 135
You'll be okay.
attack.
I'm just saying it's.
It's definitely more of an offensive team than I had last season. I feel like.
Yeah.
Because last season I had threats
on.
and then fat. Okay, let's talk about Manu, who drafted Vape
Again.
So,
again and again.
Manu's just a fucking liar.
Big
Drafted Vape
snake.
round 2 after in multiple drafts has said he will not draft it. No matter how much shit we give him to like change it up, he always says he'll change it up. He never does. So
He
like,
never does. Never
like
does.
he's more of a guarantee, I think, to draft Vape than JP was to draft Mega Glade.
Whoa! Let's not get crazy.
I don't know, man. JP never said he was not gonna draft Mega Glade and then draft it.
It
Manu
wasn't even
literally is just straight up
Mega
lying at this point, man.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that speaks louder. He's always gonna draft Vape.
We have to make it like 1A, and maybe he won't draft it. Maybe. Maybe. But
look
all
at the
jokes
rest-
aside,
look
all
at his
jokes
team in
aside,
general.
yeah, all jokes
Yeah.
aside, I really like
His-
Scizor with
His
Vape.
FPS core is disgusting.
Yeah. I think Scizor and Vape is like God's work right there. They really do work amazing together. And then you get Zygarde on there, and Zygarde is pretty nice. I
Yeah.
feel like. I don't
Um,
understand Archeops.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. If you like,
I think he's just taking a chance on it, maybe with boots.
yeah,
I mean, that thing's gonna hit hard with boots on. It obviously ruins acrobatics, but
Yeah,
I
and
think it's
also
something
can't
that
get his
he's.
health back reliably with a berry.
Yeah, I mean, I think doesn't it get roost? It could run roost, head
Yeah, but
smash a
are you gonna
lot.
run Roost with Archeops?
Might.
the problem I have with this team is again the speed tiers. They're just kind of
Poo poo.
It's really slow. A slow
it's
team.
slow. It's slow. It's very slow.
Yeah.
But
He's not bringing Persian and Archeops every week. No way in hell. So,
yeah,
I
And
mean,
he
but you
doesn't.
gotta love his. But his top tier picks are good.
Yeah.
yeah.
Blacephalon is an immediate wall breaker. Snorlax is just annoying as hell.
Mhm.
Ape is or Toke is Zygarde. That is a scary top tier right there.
Hmm.
Yeah, the
But
team's good.
I also don't like that a lot of his mons just aren't gonna run Scarf. Like I think Togekiss might be the only Pokemon on his team that might want to run a Scarf. I feel like.
Degalade too as well, I think.
Like,
But yes, and Blacephalon.
I
Also,
think
his guys, his only rockers are Piloswine and Archeops. Those are
Piloswine is fine.
I think
as
that's
a
actually
rocker.
why he got Arceus. I think he actually said that on the
You
fast
Yeah,
get it
forward.
because
just for rocks.
he
There's
needed
much better
rocks.
tier 5 rockers. I feel
He's
like.
gonna have to bring Piloswine like every single week, which is a problem.
Yeah, he
You
has
don't
He
want
wait
to.
hates
for it.
Piloswine. He thinks it's terrible. So
Yeah, this man said it was not tier 4.
What?
Yeah, remember he won it in tier 5?
He, Manu's a moron.
He's a big dummy head.
He's an
So,
idiot.
but I mean, you got like his T4 picks are good. Electros
They're
Piloswine,
good.
that's really good value for
I
T4.
also
Like,
feel like we're not talking about Roserade. Roserade is really good too.
Yeah.
it's just it's an. I think we're not talking about it because it's that type of mon. It just kind of sneaks by you. You kind of forget about it, and the next thing you know, you're getting beat to death with a Leaf Storm or Sludge
He's
Bomb.
gonna Leaf Storm.
Yeah, T-Spikes too is annoying.
And spikes, normal spikes as well.
Well,
Yeah.
that's another problem is that he has no rapid spinner, so spikes and T spikes are gonna kind of go to waste because he's gonna have to run defog or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah,
So
he could
I
be
think Hazard,
he could be a candidate for making some changes soon.
yeah,
He's a rapid
Hazard
spinner.
removal and like rocks and stuff. I feel like just hazards in general is the weakest point of his team, like by
Yeah.
far. He's really weak in that department.
Hmm.
His team definitely feels less complete and scary than like the last couple teams he's had.
Yeah,
Still very good, and I think it's a
yeah.
team he'll like, but he'll notice those couple weaknesses real bad in some of these matchups.
Hmm.
I
And
think I think the weakness wouldn't be as apparent if his team was more offensive because like the games would be over quick, and he could just kind of go through it.
He's got it set up with Zygarde or
Yeah.
Scizor and Blacephalon really has two moves.
yeah,
So
but Cephalon really got hurt with no HP and no Z moves. I feel like Z moves
Yeah,
was a
yeah,
bigger hit than HP in my opinion.
yeah.
Cause
Honestly, I think
Yeah,
we're gonna
but-
see either we're gonna see Specs or Scarf every week. I don't think he's gonna be able to run Calm Mind because it's too frail to do and doesn't have the coverage to easily hit something like Lando anymore. So
yeah.
hmm
All
are we
right.
done? We're
Ready to
moving
move
on.
on?
Okay. So Kai, I have
Alright.
my
Kai
favorite
week 1.
team, my favorite team.
I have Kai week 1, and I feel like he said, you know what? Mega Gare is a problem. So let me draft every single possible counter I can have, and that's what he did.
Let me draft 4 fairies.
He drafted 4,
3 steals.
2 Tapus.
3 steel types.
Yeah.
But yes, I mean it's a rough team. There's funny enough, his speed tiers I don't think are terrible.
No, they're
but,
not.
No, his features are pretty good.
Like otherwise, I mean, there's a lot of individual mons that I like, but the synergy is gonna be rough. He's gonna find himself, I think, running into some issues with prep, but that could also work for him because how often do people actually have to prep for this type of team? Two
Yeah.
Tabus, multiple fairies, has a Dragapult chilling out there.
He does have
And a Kartana.
The two Tapus I feel like are the most annoying to deal with on his team, because one, like they're completely different. They do completely different stuff. I feel like, and just fairy types in general are always good. So just having 2 Tapus I feel like is really good. Even though it looks kind of weird, I feel like it actually is kind Kind of cool.
I think this is the type of team I think I would really enjoy playing with if I was ballsy enough to draft it.
Yeah.
I think for his first league, I mean, he's kind of going. We don't know anything about him, and I think that kind of works in his favor because I think he's just gonna be able to bring whatever the hell he wants without like being hindered by classic or typical sets or setups. So I think he's gonna have this is a team that's gonna work out for him.
Yeah.
Um,
I feel like though he should get rid of Tapu Fini though.
I don't think so. I think like he has 4 fairies, but he's not weak to poison or steel.
Yeah.
He's still man.
I think if he was to get rid of a fairy, I think it would be Mawile.
Well, hang on now. You know Mawile gets rocks, right?
And
can find another
intimidate.
And
right?
intimidate. Come on, you're really
Sorry.
slacking on Mawile here.
My
And
God.
it's a fairy steel type, and he needed those 2 types.
And guess what?
And guess what? It gets sucker punch
Yup.
with second turn.
Yeah.
What was I thinking, guys? What was I thinking? Yeah. No, I mean, he checks off a lot of boxes. It's just in the manner he did so.
Yeah. I really like Mandibuzz and Empoleon together though. That's fun. It's
like,
electric weak, but
he got a lot of
He has no ground type.
he does not have a ground. I did realize that he did not have a single ground type. So electric in general is going to be a pain for him, even though he has Vikavolt.
But he's going to have to run Vikavolt bulky every week then.
Yeah.
Or Audino and Kangaskhan.
Bulky Kangaskhan for your electric.
It's got 105 HP and like 85
It's
spin.
just funny that your way of dealing with electrics is Kangaskhan. I don't know. That's funny to me.
Hey man, don't sleep on Kanga.
Oh, I'm not. It's just funny. And Kartana's a electric resist, but
okay, well we don't talk about Kartana being a resist to anything
it just
special.
dies to Thunderbolt. It doesn't even matter what Pokemon it is. It just dies.
Thunderbolt.
Just
You could
dies.
have Pichu out there, and Kartana would fold over.
It's a very funny joke, I gotta say.
You know what? Pretty funny stuff, man. Wait, what's Kartana's Spadef like actually?
I think it's like 34.
39, I think.
31.
Oh, cool. And like 59 HP?
Yeah, and then 181, 131 defense.
Yeah.
Well, at least it could tank it could take Wild Charge well.
Yeah, it could.
So,
For the 5 Pokemon that run it.
Things like Tapu Koko are just gonna rail his team. Like I don't know how he even is supposed to prepare for that.
You bring Kartana, dummy.
That's Def Equal.
I mean,
Also, people gave him crap for Mega Audino. I don't think Mega Audino is that bad.
I think Mega Audino's personally, I think he's the best T4 Mega.
And also, this was before he drafted the 3 fairies after. By the way.
Yeah.
Like this was his first fairy.
That deserved a little bit of concern that he drafted Mega Audino so early.
Yeah.
I think it's the best one in that tier for sure.
How did he draft Mega Audino and then somehow Lele and Fini were still there?
Because everyone ran out their tier 1.
on those two, bro. People sleep.
Especially
Lele's a menace.
I don't think Fini's that good.
Fini is underrated. It fits well with certain teams, and I think people just don't use it on those teams right.
I just think because the other Tapus are so strong that it just kind of gets down.
Yeah.
I guess forgotten about because it's meant to be defensive, but like it's got good offensive pressure.
Yeah, definitely. But also he doesn't have a rapid spinner.
It does not. That is true.
There's a couple teams.
Magic Bounce.
There's a couple teams. Yeah, at least he has Magic Bounce.
Oh yeah. Let's rely on Magic
Just
Bounce.
destroyed Ziad. Like ruined Ziad's day. Drafting that.
Yeah, no one drafted Cradilly though, so he's gonna have to save.
Yeah. Oh, Cradilly. Oh my God, Ziad's gonna go 8-0. No one drafted Cradilly.
8-0. So he would go 7-0.
Last season, no either.
Yeah. Oh my. Well,
did anyone draft Cradilly last season?
I don't think it was in the game, so like he gets a pass.
He gets a pass.
Now that it's in the game and no one drafted it, there's nothing to stop him.
Wait.
Well, do you have any other tentacle mons that can I
have Tentacruel. Okay, no, we're okay.
And Brown's got Tangela.
Does Sylveon count with his ribbons? Does that count?
Yeah, it can wrap him up.
It can wrap him up.
It's not tentacle enough though.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I agree.
long enough.
I got a lot of Pokemon with whiskers, like Mienshao and Raikou and Gyarados.
They could all work
so-
together.
They can all work together, yeah. Yeah, this is good.
So you're gonna send your furries at him.
This video is awful now.
Oh, wait a second. Kim, you drafted Mienshao. That's your first. That's your fursuit.
Ooh. Oh. Okay,
And you got a Raikou. That's also kind of a fursuit.
no,
It's an ant.
not at all.
Ambipom too, man.
Wait a second.
This dude is naming Pokemon. Nick
Oh
has
my
a
god,
Nick literally-
Landorus,
Nick literally has a sock. That is literally just a person.
Yeah, it's not a furry though.
Yeah, exactly. Sock is the person that dresses up as Mienshao. Seriously, if you think of Sock and then think of Mienshao, it's kind of the same.
No, no.
Yeah, Mienshao.
Yeah,
is
the
just
suit was just
Sock in
too
a
big for
fursuit.
him. The suit
Exactly.
was too big for him, so he's got the little things hanging down.
Mienshao is Sock in a fursuit.
Very funny.
We figured it out.
We figured it out.
All right, let's move
We
on
end
to
this
some
video.
other things.
Yeah. Who do you think has the best?
Oh
team?
wait. Yeah, let's do that.
Who do you think
So,
has the
well,
best?
my
team?
best team I think is Rabo.
I agree.
Well, give me a second to think. Jesus, because just I really like Infinite's team.
Do you think it's the best though?
No, I just said I really like it. I also
But-
like Yad's team.
Oh
Like
my God,
Rob's
but this was
team.
That's probably my second favorite team.
I like my own team. I'm gonna go with Infinite just to be a little different because you guys both picked Rob.
yeah, but it's kind of obvious why we picked Rob.
I don't think it's the best.
I mean, you literally just said I want you Infinite to be different. so-
Anyways,
The worst team, if you want to be mean.
no, let's not. Everyone's team is great.
Except Nick's.
Okay, who do you guys think is gonna finish first in each division?
Finished first. I don't know the divisions.
I don't
off
know what
top
the
of my head.
divisions are.
Go to the homepage.
Nick, I don't want to move.
All right,
Go to the
so
homepage and look at the divisions.
Fine. Fine.
well,
Okay.
we got tough. Crown division's gonna be tough.
Okay.
I think Brown
think-
is gonna be number 1 in the Crown division, and
I think Brown is gonna be number 1 in Armor division as well. I think so. He's so good. He just transferred the division.
I think in that, like, to be real, I think it might just be Nick and Crown, and it's gonna be really close. I feel like for Armor.
I think
I'm gonna go Infinite Yad.
I want to pick myself, but I won't. So I'm gonna say Will. I'm gonna say Will and Rabo.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see that. And for playoffs, who do you think is gonna make playoffs?
Well, obviously,
Let's not all the way down. Let's just think who we're gonna win playoffs.
yeah. Let's not do like the top 6 and stuff like that.
You're gay.
All right, that's fair.
Haha, funny joke.
Who do you think's gonna win the whole thing, Pac? We can't. Me and can't pick
Hey,
ourselves.
you guys can't pick yourselves. Throw away my bias and I won't pick Yad.
If you want to pick Yad, you can pick him.
I really like his team, and I think it's really got there. But I am biased, so I'm honestly seeing his team through a little bit of a goggles of sorts. So I'm gonna go with I'm gonna go throw it back to Rabo.
Damn it, I hate you.
Were you gonna pick Rabo?
I'm
too?
gonna say Robo's gonna have his redemption season. I feel like he's gonna come back and just mess.
I am going to say, if we're talking about redemption seasons, I'm going to say the ultimate redemption season, and Will is going to win the championship. You heard it here first.
So
Put it on
Nick's
screen,
gonna be
it's-
how I was last season, just everything
Yeah.
will.
Will is going to win this season.
Will is gonna win this season. Okay.
And who are you gonna pick?
I just said Robo.
No, you can't pick Rabo. Just pick someone else. Who do you think's gonna come in
88
What's your second pick?
is gonna make it.
80.
He's gonna be the dark horse. I'm telling you. He's gonna bring Litwick.
It's
So-
gonna win. It's gonna bring Z-Bite Liquid.
Z bite Litwick.
See, bite Litway.
Oh, spoiler for who won the game. You can see Nick.
Yeah, it
Who
was me.
cares?
I crushed him.
Nick,
Suck.
update the kill leader. and
I mean,
put
it doesn't
Sock
on
as
its
the kill
own. I gotta go
leader.
to.
Sock is
Oh
the
my
kill
God,
Don't worry
leader.
about
Sock
it.
is the kill
Hey,
leader.
Sock
who's
is
the,
the kill
who do you
leader.
think is gonna be the kill leader though for the whole
Sock.
season?
Sock is gonna be the kill leader.
He already has 3 kills.
Yeah, how are you gonna stop him?
Nick fucking makes Sock the kill leader. I'll eat my shorts.
You better eat your shorts. You better
Eat
Okay.
my
pepper
shorts.
them.
I feel like kill leader. Let me see the rosters again. Like actual kill leader.
Yep. I'm
I
gonna
don't know. I
say
think it's gonna be pretty close actually. I don't think we're
I'm
gonna have
gonna
another
say
Draco
Infinite.
Fish.
Infinite is gonna make sure Darm is the kill leader this time, and Brown will have to eat his.
Yeah. There's a lot of like mons that could be kill leaders because
Yeah.
last season it felt pretty clear like group of like 10 mons. This season you could see a lot of different ones.
Yeah. Like it all depends on the player too. Like Mega
Yeah.
Blastoise could be kill leader. Hydreigon could be kill leader. Melmetal could be kill leader. Like
I don't think Mega Blastoise can be kill leader without Shell Smash.
I think it could.
I mean, I guess. I can see 88 making Zeraora kill leader too.
Oh, that's true too. Maybe even Litwick.
I'm gonna give the kill leader to.
Actually, I think Yad might get another kill leader with Mega Lopunny. I think it's just too strong.
And I would disagree because last season he like Dracovish was his main offensive pressure, but this season he has Weavile and Thunder.
Yeah, but I still think it's gonna at least get like 18 kills. I feel like.
18 kills in 8 games.
Oh, it's only 8 this week. It's only 8 weeks.
More than 2 kills a game.
I mean, that's not too crazy.
A couple 4 or 5 O's really sets it up, you know.
I guess so.
Yeah.
Gosh, this is hard. There's a lot of mons.
Oh my god, like.
Just like every team has multiple threats, so it's like which one stands out the most.
I don't think there
I
is
never
one
get
now.
kill leaders, so
Yeah, I wasn't even looking at your team.
Nick
I
wants
never
the
get kill
mon to
leader.
be a kill leader now after saying that. He definitely wants to be a kill leader.
I don't really care.
Dang.
I could see
I'm gonna give it
Torn,
to Victini.
guess.
I'm gonna give it to Victini.
Victini.
18.
Another 88.
Ooh, Jam.
Weavile was right there.
Oh,
Hitmonchan.
I'll just pick Hitmonchan.
Pick Hitmonchan. Hitmonchan.
Yeah,
Oh, we
Hitmonchan.
all.
Hitmonchan's kill
That's
leader.
crazy.
That's
Hitmonchan
wild.
is the kill leader, guys.
You heard it here first. Hitmonchan is the kill leader.
Oh, it's already been decided.
Yeah.
All right.
We have to end this video.
Are we done?
I think so.
Are
Okay.
we still recording?
Yeah. Bye.